What's up, everybody? It's Ann from Gamerscast. Now they're bringing you another story, another creepypasta. This one's going to be over the Midnight Man. And this, I've only seen gameplay on it. I saw Markiplier's gameplay on it, actually, which was actually quite funny. I never beat it yet, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. Anyways, let's get on with the story. I don't know where to start, where to begin about my feelings of this thing. This story is one that I had to keep secret, in fear that family or friends may persecute me and send me to a mental facility. What I've seen, what I've heard, has been shot down by many simple lies. This story hopefully will open the eyes to some who don't believe in my words of it and what it is. Let me start off with a new note. The first time I encountered it was the late summer of 2008. My family's house had been foreclosed since we just couldn't afford it anymore because of all the land that we owned. We bought a smaller house in a nice neighborhood that was just about 2 miles away from the one prior. I guess we just liked that area. It was all well for a while. I settled into a new home quite alright. I felt like home. It felt nice and pleasant. Even when it rained, you felt safe, secure. But one day, after we were all settled in, I decided to go for a walk on a nearby trail. No one else was there. Not even I looked as far in front of me as I turned around. Not even a single person. It seemed a bit odd. It was a nice day out, so why am I the only one to enjoy this day on a sidewalk? Whatever. I guess I shouldn't be complaining about having a trail to my lonesome self. I continued my trek and peered to both sides of the trail. To my left, a rather small but steep hill that led to more houses, and my right was just a thin woods teeming with green grass and dirt. These woods ran across the trail the entire way. Being my boy self, I jumped into this nest of foliage, hoping to find some adventure. I looked around and examined everything I saw. I picked up a stick and began to swing it like a sword. I continued inside the small, narrow woods to find something that mildly disturbed me. A small rabbit about the size of a large man's shoe lay dead across the leafy, earthy floor. I dropped the stick and kneeled down on one knee to examine it further. Its stomach had been torn out with the middle of the entrails, barely seeping out. Something more odd was that there seemed to be no bite marks or scratches, as if it had just seemed to die. And a weird feeling in the back of my head entered, a tingling feeling. It didn't hurt, but it was very irritating. It made me want to just hit my head against a tree and make it stop. But even as a child, I knew that was foolish. I didn't feel any more adventure in me, so I head back home and ate supper without informing my family of the rabbit. Next morning I woke up to hear talking downstairs. My mom and my sister were talking about something on the deck. I woke up and looked to my mom, who had a disgusted look on her face. "What's going on?" I asked in a worried tone. "I think an animal left its lunch on our porch." I looked out to see under our porch swing was a pile of animal entrails. I whispered to myself, "The rabbit." My mom cleaned them off and threw them away. Nothing more happened during the day. It went as all days go on. But that night I had a dream, or at least I thought that was a dream. It started out with me, in the woods. I was laying down in the same spot where I found the rabbit. It was cold. I was naked and I didn't have a clue what was happening. I couldn't move, but I saw in the distance a shadowy figure that seemed to be constructed of the darkness. It seemed to almost be a good 7 feet tall. He had deer-like shape for a head. Horns curled from his shoulders and back. He walked like a man. If I had hooves, or what seemed to be hooves, I don't know. He walked towards me, creeping past the trees. A once dark forest had been made even darker as a cloud of misty fog followed its trail. He spoke in a demonic, monotone voice. "You think that you are of higher importance than the rabbit? That you are greater?" couldn't respond. I was shocked at everything that was happening. He spoke once more. The earth will die and all will cry. Bring the tears of the unfaithful, the untrustworthy, and cynical men and women to me. They won't know me by an image, but by their undying fate. Maybe they should have listened to the crazy man on the street. Maybe they should have listened to the one who tried to convince them that it was no myth, or what they saw was indeed true flesh and fact. You know, my son, that little thing that just catches your curious eye, that little unnatural feeling that makes you feel out of place, that something's wrong. That physical feeling when you felt something touch you, but you debunk and it was just your mind, that is me, the Midnight Man. He knelt to my level with a soft yet noticeable touch. He prodded my stomach with a pointed, sharp claw. He arose and walked away. I peered at my naked body. My stomach turned into a shadowy black and it traveled through my bare body. Just then I awakened in my bed, sweating through my sheets. I glanced down to my pillow and to see it was covered in blood. I touched my face to feel blood dripping from my nose. Since the day these events occurred, I have been seeing more and more things, and my self-being has changed. My grades in school dropped and I began to slack off and focus on the world out of school, the woods, my house, the Midnight Man. Though I haven't seen or heard him since, I can feel his presence within me. I don't know if he is evil or good. I do know it, and I know more about life and myself being after my encounter with him. I still suffer from the tingling in my head, and I always think about what he said since that day. I believe that this man can enter anyone's thoughts and well-being and break you down until you change entirely. This thing is dangerous to anyone, and whatever this thing is, it must be stopped. Well, guys, that was the Midnight Man. I don't know if that was the exact one. I just found it on Creepypasta. Anyways, it seemed pretty well. It was well made, in my opinion, at least. Anyways, I was talking to one of my friends, and I told him I would give him a little shout out because him and I play games together. His name is G3_Possession. I'll leave his name in the description. So leave comments, like, subscribe, please. Do whatever your heart desires. If you want to go read this story, I will also leave a link for it as well. This has been GamersCast Another. I'll see you guys later.